Arsenal, target, Rodrygo makes three-word claim amid unexpected £17 million Real Madrid twist. Latest Arsenal transfer news with summer target Rodrygo sending a clear message after a Real Madrid update emerged that could impact his future. Rodrygo still looks set to depart Real Madrid in the summer transfer window with interest from Arsenal remaining despite the signing of Noni Madueke. As football.london reported back in May, signing a wide forward was one of many priorities for Mikel Arteta, with that objective now fulfilled. Prior to the Madueke deal with Chelsea being agreed, Rodrygo was a firm target for Mikel Arteta and company. As Xabi Alonso showed during the Club World Cup that he preferred other attackers. Across 6 games at the tournament in the United States, he played just 92 minutes. Though likely expensive, the Brazil international joining Arsenal appeared to make sense given his preference to play on the left and Bukayo Saka's dominance on the opposite flank. Rodrygo can play on the right however and has done so for a number of seasons because of Vinicius Jr. Arsenal face Liverpool in transfer battle amid Ibarreche's and Alexander Isak moves. Former Arsenal star Aaron Ramsdale in talks to seal shock transfer reunion is offer. Submitted. The 25-year-old is currently in contract talks with Real, and his latest demands have seen a big decision made that could impact Rodrygo's future in the Spanish capital. According to Spanish radio station Cadena SER, Los Blancos are prepared to sell Vinicius if he does not reduce his salary demands. It has been claimed that he wants Kylian Mbappe money, which would see him earn £17.4 million €20 million after tax per season. In the meantime, a decision on Rodrygo will likely be needed within the next week as Real return for a mini preseason next month ahead of the 2025-26 La Liga season commencing on Sunday, August 18. While many other players are spending their time off away on holiday, Rodrygo looks to have continued playing football, with his latest Instagram stories suggesting he was part of a team that won a tournament. In one of the posts, he and several others are captured celebrating with that clip captioned, Mais año purple heart and football emoji, with the first part of that message translating to one more year. In English, he has uploaded pictures with 2 teammates and one of himself celebrating with his arms lofted high in the air wearing the number 10 shirt. With Victor Gyökeres taking the iconic 14, the jersey Rodrygo was captured wearing is available at Emirates Stadium. Arsenal signing Rodrygo over Crystal Palace star Ibarreche's looks rather unlikely, with Alonso's side still demanding £78 million €90 million, and the Gunners not really in a position to spend that amount unless one marquee sale is sanctioned. Arsenal told that £34 million midfielder is off-limits by Premier League rivals. The Gunners had been tracking the 24-year-old as a midfield option this summer, but have since been snubbed, with the Premier League star instead signing a new contract. Now, Aston Villa's Boubacar Kamara has committed his future to Villa with a new deal running until 2030. His decision shuts the door on a potential move despite interest from Arsenal, Tottenham, and PSG. Graham Bailey from TBR Football claimed that both North London clubs made inquiries, but Villa made it clear he wasn't available. It's a stance they have stood firm on this summer, telling Chelsea the same thing over their pursuit of Morgan Rogers, and Manchester United, who are keen on striker Ollie Watkins. Arsenal have already spent around £200 million this summer, with Victor Gyökeres arriving as their marquee signing. Mikel Arteta has also brought in Martin Zubimendi, Kepa Arrizabalaga, Christian Norgard, Christian Mosquera, and Noni Madueke. Valued at £34 million, according to Transfermarkt, Kamara will not be joining them. The club is still looking to add an attacker, with Crystal Palace's Ibarreche among their top targets. Why Arsenal are going to have a really tough time of it this season because the media never touch the issue. There is a general assumption that all Premier League clubs are treated pretty much the same way by the opposition against whom they play, and even if this is not the case, there is still that ominous phrase that it all evens out in the end. In fact, this is not true at all. The most fouled team in the Premier League last season was fouled 47% more than the least fouled team. And that is just according to the referees' statistics. If we were to be able to factor in referee bias, the difference between teams in terms of the number of fouls they had against them would be much greater. Of course, clubs know the referees that oversee their games, and they know how likely each referee is to call a foul or even a penalty for each perceived offense. Which is why the referees' figures really ought to have a lot more publicity than they get. But since no one else will cover it, here are some of the basics. Last season Aston Villa were fouled over 47% more times than Brentford. Arsenal were fouled 14% more than Liverpool. And remember, these are just the fouls that the referees blew for. It's one of those statistics which perhaps on its own might be ignored, but when we also note that Arsenal we given more red cards than any other club, and indeed twice as many as Liverpool, and 3 times as many as Chelsea, and 6 times as many as Tottenham, we might start to think something odd is happening. And here is another thing. Yes, Arsenal got 6 many more red cards than Chelsea, 6 times as many in fact, but Chelsea got 54% more yellow cards than Arsenal, 64 to Arsenal and 99 to Chelsea. And Chelsea actually committed fewer tackles than Arsenal. So let's have a look at these yellow card situations. Arsenal committed 10.3 fouls per game in 2023-24 and 10.6 fouls per game last season, so virtually the same. And yes, the number of yellow cards per fouls was virtually identical, 43 all season for fouls in 23-24 and 42 for fouls in 2024-25. But where Arsenal suffered was in terms of yellow cards for the mysterious, other, reason. This rose by a staggering 27%, particularly staggering because we spent a while last season asking what the other category included, fearing it was a grouping that simply allowed referees to give yellow cards to Arsenal. We never did find out, but now we can see, it is indeed a way to give yellow cards to Arsenal. Only Chelsea got more yellow cards for other reasons than Arsenal, and whatever it was they were doing to get these cards, they were doing one hell of a lot, for they got 38 cards for other reasons. This we might compare with Tottenham and Liverpool, who got 11 cards each for other reason. Put another way, in this special, undefined category that the media will never write about, Arsenal got shafted. Now you will notice the other column to the right on the table above, and if you have been with Untold for a while you might recall that last season we made a bit of a fuss about other, asking for details of what others were. No one was able to tell us. But now we have a new man in the front line who we are told has a preferred movement of drifting from the center out to left wing. So there could be an extra defender out there. Which is great because Saka will be on the right. In Portugal, players trained all week looking for ways to stop their league's top goal scorer, trying to stop Gyökeres getting space. I fear that won't be how it is in England. He will quite simply be kicked, and the referees will do that annoying 2 hands open palm gesture, meaning, get up and stop complaining. Which means the key issue is, has anyone told him about the PGMO and their attitude toward Arsenal players? Asked what advice he'd give to Premier League defenders, Ruben Fernandes said, players in England are more physical and used to his power. He could have added, and the referees tend to let defenders get away with it. We can only hope Arteta and co have warned him. Real Madrid transfer news, Arsenal, Liverpool receive Bustos Los Blancos, asking price, of attacker. Real Madrid have reportedly changed their stance regarding the potential sale of Rodrygo. With 68 goals and 51 assists from 270 appearances in all competitions, Rodrygo can be viewed as one of the club's most important players of the past 6 years. However, despite his previous status as a first-choice attacker, the Brazil international faces the realistic prospect of dropping down the pecking order at the Bernabeu. As well as struggling during the closing months of 2024-25, new head coach Xabi Alonso rarely replied upon the 24-year-old at the Club World Cup. The likes of Arsenal and Liverpool have each been credited as admirers of the versatile attacker as they consider their options for 2025-26. What Rodrygo decision have Real Madrid made? According to AS, club officials are now prepared to consider offers below their previously set asking price. The report alleges that bids below the £77 million mark will now be assessed should they be made by a Premier League club or other European giant. Real Madrid are in a position where they could benefit from strengthening in defense or midfield, while they may also feel that Rodrygo's valuation around the continent is at risk of dropping. He ended last season without contributing a single goal or assist in his final 11 appearances in La Liga. Will Arsenal, Liverpool react? Although the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool have been linked with Rodrygo, they may each be at a point where they have moved on. Arsenal completed the signing of Sporting Lisbon forward Victor Gyökeres at the weekend and have also already acquired Noni Madueke from Chelsea. Meanwhile, Liverpool are focused on signing Newcastle United forward Alexander Isak if they finalize the sale of Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich. Unless a team such as Newcastle United or Tottenham Hotspur move for Rodrygo, Real Madrid could find themselves in a tricky position over how to handle his future. That said, Alonso may not necessarily be against having someone of Rodrygo's qualities at his disposal across a long season when they will have had a reduced rest period over the summer. Barcelona among several top clubs keeping tabs on Arsenal forward. Report at 36 years old, Robert Lewandowski is in the final phase of his career, and FC Barcelona need to start planning for a future beyond the pole. The idea is for the Blaugrana to continue counting on him for one more season before going big on a new striker in the summer of 2026. A move for Julian Alvarez of Atletico Madrid has been talked about, but Barcelona are keeping tabs on other options as well. Gabriel Jesus on Barcelona's radars. As such, Caught Offside now reports that Barcelona are among a host of clubs monitoring the situation of Arsenal striker Gabriel Jesus. Teams like Tottenham, Newcastle United, and AC Milan are also understood to be keeping tabs on the 28-year-old centre-forward. Brazilian clubs such as Flamengo and Palmeiras are also keen. Jesus' future at Arsenal has become uncertain following their recent signing of Victor Gyökeres. However, given his serious knee injury and its aftereffects, interested clubs are wary of making a move. As such, there is an air of uncertainty regarding the possibility of his departure from Arsenal this summer. The January window next year could be when clubs decide to act, after assessing how the former Manchester City man has recovered from his injury. If he stays at the Emirates Stadium beyond that, he could become an option for Barcelona come the summer of 2026. As mentioned earlier, Julian Alvarez remains Barcelona's top target for the summer of 2026 when they plan to move on from Lewandowski. Real Madrid offer £79 million plus 2 players for Arsenal star as Romano gives update. Arsenal have received an offer from Real Madrid for William Saliba as the Gunners continue to work on a new contract for the defender, according to reports. The Gunners have made some great progress in the transfer market this summer with Kepa Arrizabalaga, Martin Zubimendi, Christian Norgard, Noni Madueke, Christian Mosquera and Victor Gyökeres all signing. Real Madrid offer £79 million plus 2 players for Arsenal star as Romano gives update. Arsenal defender William Saliba with the Real Madrid badge. Arsenal have received an offer from Real Madrid for William Saliba as the Gunners continue to work on a new contract for the defender, according to reports. Arsenal could now look to move some players on before resuming work to improve the squad with Brazilian striker Gabriel Jesus one of the players linked to a move away. Charles Watts, who has been covering Arsenal for years, has insisted that Mikel Arteta's squad is suddenly looking very bloated, and named 4 players could move on. Watts wrote in his Caught Offside column recently, "With all the new arrivals the squad is suddenly looking very bloated and Andrea Berta will be looking to find takers for players like Reece Nelson, Sambi Lokonga, Fabio Vieira and maybe Alexander Zinchenko." Arsenal centre-back William Saliba is certainly a player they would be reluctant to lose and are hoping to tie him down to a new contract as his existing terms end in the summer of 2027. Arsenal keeper sell, Martinelli, Zinchenko gone but Trossard, Havertz stay. Asked when he was signing a new deal over the weekend, Saliba replied, "Hopefully soon. God is great." After Saliba's comments, transfer expert Fabrizio Romano gave an update on the France international's situation with Arsenal sporting director Andrea Berta, working hard on a new deal. William Saliba confirms, "Hopefully soon," when asked about a new contract at Arsenal. "Well, I can confirm that Arsenal's sporting director is working hard on this deal. Arsenal are prepared to accelerate talks with William Saliba, they've already started negotiations with his agents. Since Berta arrived, he has been working on extending Ethan Nwaneri, which will be official soon. Miles Lewis-Skelly is already official for Saliba, contacts had already started before the summer transfer window, but now they continue. Arsenal are offering a new deal and have made an important proposal to Saliba. They hope to reach an agreement as soon as possible because they know of interest from Real Madrid. Madrid loves Saliba. Madrid would love to attack for Saliba. He is a player they have on top of their list, but Arsenal are showing their ambition. The La Liga giants have added Arda Güler as part of the deal, with a loan that would extend until the end of the season, while the offer also includes Raúl Asensio, one of the jewels of the Real Madrid youth system. Asensio is a future investment that Arsenal wouldn't mind, and his inclusion demonstrates that Real Madrid is determined to complete the deal as soon as possible. Arsenal have not yet accepted or rejected the offer and are seriously considering it. The price offered and the players involved make the deal difficult to refuse. Martin Zubimendi a suspension risk after Arsenal win versus Newcastle, ex-FIFA ref. Mikel Arteta needs to tread carefully with Martin Zubimendi as the new Arsenal signing adapts to the Premier League, according to Keith Hackett. The former PGMOL chief and ex-FIFA official exclusively told Football Insider that, having watched the Spaniard in La Liga last season, the player is at risk of picking up red cards from referees in England. With goals from Mikel Merino, Martin Odegaard, and an Alex Murphy own goal, the Gunners were victorious against Newcastle United during a preseason friendly on Sunday the 27th of July. Despite the positives, concerns have emerged over Zubimendi's adaptability to the Premier League, having been yellow-carded with his first foul in Arsenal colours against the Magpies. Martin Zubimendi concerns emerge at Arsenal. The Gunners have a history of hard-tackling midfielders, most notably Sunderland-bound Granit Xhaka in recent seasons, and Arteta looks to have added yet another to his ranks this summer. Much like the Swiss international, Zubimendi is not afraid to go in for challenges, which was evident when picking up his first caution just 37 minutes into his first game for the 2019 20th FA Cup winners. With Arteta under pressure to win trophies at Arsenal, the Spaniard will be hoping the midfielder's arrival, alongside Victor Gyökeres and Noni Madueke, will make the difference in the Premier League title race. However, Hackett believes the manager will require behind-the-scenes talks with one of his new arrivals to avoid any on-pitch setbacks, having been awarded the most red cards in the league last season. Mikel Arteta to avoid high number of red cards next season. Speaking exclusively to Football Insider, the former referee said, "I have no doubt that Arteta will have talks with him and his fellow teammates. I think Arsenal, in the past, have had players who have been capable of having a bit of steel. That's the reason he's been brought in, to give the team a bit of strength when it comes to challenges on the pitch. Arteta is a very experienced manager, and will liaise with him in the appropriate manner. It's up to the player and the club to determine how many yellow cards he's going to pick up. There's no doubt that with some of the challenges I've seen him produce, he runs the risk in England of not only getting a yellow, but also facing suspensions too.